Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
All right, good morning, Jonesboro and surrounding areas. It is finally Friday. I don't know if anyone else has been looking forward to Friday as much as I have, but it's finally here. And thank God the weather has warmed up just a little bit, so hopefully it carries over into Christmas. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my special guest. I'm your host for today, Quabila Harden. I've been holding it down all week. Mr. Cato Wonder has had a lot of radio stuff to do, business to handle, so he's been out and about. All right, so today my special guests are Kobe Parker. I'm sorry, getting your names out of order. Donald Hunt and Jonathan Martin, and they are here from Men on a Mission. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so I would like for each of you to go around the table and tell a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with this organization, and then we'll come back and talk about how the organization was started.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Kobe Parker. I'm originally from West Memphis, and I've been in Jonesboro since 2003. I came to school here, went to ASU, graduated with a bachelor's in psychology. And how I got involved with the organization is one of my good friends just came up with the idea of wanting to give back to the community. And so, we started brainstorming on ways we could do that. And one of the things we came up with was basically it's us men supporting each other, building each other up, and doing things in the community. And so, we prayed about what we should name the organization, and God gave us the name of Men on a Mission, and then He gave us the kind of the layout and the vision for the organization. And so we began our first community service project. We did Thanksgiving baskets, and from then on, we just wanted to kind of find other men that were doing things in the community, connect with them, and like I said, build each other up to make Jonesboro and Arkansas a better place.
Alrighty. Thank you.
All right, my name is Donald Hunt, and I'm from Blytheville, Arkansas. I got associated with Men on a Mission probably about 2 years ago, but I've been familiar with Kobe Parker. Met him at ASU when I was attending their psychology major. And, one day, I think it was like during class, like right before class, we were just, just chit-chatting, and, we just kind of threw our ideas and, listening to his ideas and him listening to mine, we kind of agreed that, we had the same viewpoints, and, we decided to work together. And that's when I met Jonathan Martin, and he's a cool guy, and together, it's just been history ever since. Like, these are two guys that I know that I can, just really trust, and, having the support of, other people around me, it just makes me want to, just do what I can, for the community, not so much Jonesboro, but all of Arkansas, and hopefully we can, not only just touch Arkansas, but touch the, the whole nation. So I know it sounds big, but, you got to start small, so.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. My name's Jonathan Martin. Originally from here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I was born, moved around a little bit. I was growing up, but I'm a local youth and college pastor here in town, and just got to know Kobe through a common friend who's actually now on the board of Men on a Mission. I was volunteering out at the Juvenile Detention Center, going in, just talking to some of these young guys about what they wanted in life, and why they were there, and if they even wanted to continue going to jail.
Okay.
And so just kind of got to the point where I was developing really deep relationships with these guys because they were there all the time. And so just felt God tell me that there needed to be a change, not necessarily in the justice system itself, but just in the community around these kids that are in the juvenile justice system. And from there, I got connected with Colby. He was already kind of moving in the direction I wanted to go in, or I felt like God was moving me in.
Okay. Okay.
And once we got connected, Kobe he just took off.
Wow.
Really started working hard all the time, calling me, bugging me, getting on my nerves, and lit the fire under me too a little bit to try to actually do something about what we felt God was calling us to do. So that's why we're here. We wanna change the lives, and we want to see God change the lives of these young men and women in this community.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for that. So let's talk about when the organization was actually started.
Like I said, we came up with the idea. My best friend and I, he passed away a few years ago.
Okay.
But we came up with the idea around November of 2013, and from then on, like I said, we just decided we start out by serving.
Okay.
And so we started the community service projects with the Thanksgiving baskets in that Thanksgiving in November, and then for Christmas we sponsored a family of 5 that kind of fell on some hard times, and somebody identified them as a family in need, and so we were able to buy clothing, coats, and also get them some other things. Some of the kids were younger, so we got them some toys. And so in 2013, that's when we kind of started. And in 2014, I think we did a cookout in the community over in Parker Park, because originally we planned on working with the north side of Jonesboro.
Okay.
But after working over there, I started seeing a lot of people were doing that. And so, we just kind of wanted to go where there was an issue, but there weren't a lot of people attacking that issue, because,
Okay.
I mean, the north side of Jonesboro is bad, but there's other areas that are closely tied to the same type of economic status, and we just wanted to work where we could make the greatest impact. And so that's kind of where we came up with the idea of the mentoring program. And so we started doing research to figure out who was doing mentoring programs, and what part of town needed it, and what part of town had the juvenile delinquents that were identified as juvenile delinquents.
Okay.
And so that's how we ended up going to the mentoring part of things.
Alrighty then. You're tuned into Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, and we're speaking with Kobe Parker, Jonathan Martin, and Donald Hunt from Men on a Mission. Alrighty, so organization started in 2013, and you're still going strong 2016. So let's talk about some of the projects. First of all, let's talk about some of the programs or activities that you offer through your organization.
One of the programs we're doing right now is Operation Give Back, and those are community service programs. We do, like I said, the Thanksgiving baskets. We sponsor a family for Christmas. We have a highway cleanup that we do 4 times a year on Highway 1 going towards Harrisburg. We do the backpack giveaways, backpack and school supply giveaways, and those are our community service programs. As far as other programs that we do, we've recently started our mentoring program, but before that we did a summer program over the summer where Donald Hunt kind of ran. He led us in that program, and with this mentoring program, Jonathan Martin is kind of taking the lead on that. And so I'll let them elaborate on the summer program and the mentoring program. So,
Okay.
Jonathan.
Want me to go? Okay. Yeah. Man, as far as the mentor program, we have a lot of goals and desires with just to see successful, prominent members of our community come and work with some of these young men and women who don't have really a lot of positive role models in their lives. Now, they may have some, but for the most part, what we're finding is that they come from households that don't have a father figure in them, and that's a sad thing. The breakdown of the family is in my opinion, and in many people smarter than me's opinion, the kind of the breakdown of the community. And so what we want to see is some of these young men watch a man who has potentially been through what they've been through, or grown up in a healthy house, but just to watch them and see how they live their lives, and to be poured into, and to know that they're valuable, and to know that they're cared about enough that they can actually make a difference in their own community, where they can grow up and pour back into their own community. And then another program we want to start is because right now we're focusing on at-risk youth, and that encompasses a grand scale of young boys and young girls. But we want to specify and specifically target juvenile offenders at some point, and it'll be its own program where we'll have mentors matched up with mentees who are coming out of the juvenile justice system, so that they understand how valuable they are to our community, whether they've been in jail or not, whether they've broken the law or not. We've all messed up, we've all made mistakes, and unfortunately most of these young guys and young women just didn't have a chance from the get-go. Not all of them, but most of them didn't have a chance from the get-go, just because of the breakdown of their own families. And I'm not pointing fingers at anyone for sure, but definitely those kids whose fathers have walked out of their lives, it's a shame, but it probably has to do with their own father walking out of their lives. And so we want to break that cycle with these young men and young women.
Amen.
So that's kind of the goal.
Now, one thing I want to ask is, you were talking about mentoring these young men, because I know a lot of different families that do have only one parent running the household.
Right.
And as you're mentoring these young men, do you try to encourage them, one, hold off on becoming a father, especially at a young age? I know we don't live in a perfect world, things happen, but do you try to encourage them, do not become a father before you're really ready to become a father?
Oh, of course, that'll be one of the focal points of the conversations between the mentee and their mentor. Yes, ma'am. And that's our stance as well. We believe that Christ, that God gave us His word for a reason, and that He told us for a reason that sex outside of marriage was wrong. And as that's incredibly popular today, and I'm definitely not hating on anybody that's done that. We all make mistakes, like I said, but there's a reason God gave that command, and it's for our good, not for our bad.
And that's a whole nother subject we can
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
about
Of course.
day.
But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, that's definitely one thing we want to encourage them to be safe if they're going to make mistakes, and definitely to stay away from things like that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Mr. Donald?
Yes, ma'am. Summer 2016 was our first time operating the what we call the Empower program.
Okay.
And we named it Empower because we wanted to basically empower our mentees, and our students with different educational skills, and not only educational skills but life skills that they need. And we ran it over the summer because we feel like the summertime is kind of that downtime where kids can kind of forget and kind of lose the skills that they learned during the school year. So with the Empower program that we have, we wanted to bridge that gap in between the summer and the school year. Kind of sharpen the skills that they learned from the previous grade, and with them going into their new grade, we kind of wanted to give them a heads up with the different skills and just different aspects of what they're going to be stepping into to give them that confidence going into the new school year. Because I noticed, even though I'm a psychology major, I kind of recently switched over into the education field, and I started out at Success, and now I'm at Nettleton Junior High. And a lot of these kids that I noticed out here, they're not really bad, and of course they make poor decisions, but I feel that comes from them not actually understanding what they're doing, and not having confidence, to be successful students, or a lot of them don't have the encouragement at home. So like I said, talking with Kobe and Jonathan, we all kind of had the same views, so we ended up coming up with the program. I think we did it twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, for 2 hours each session. Like I said, we'll start it out probably with some math and science, English and reading, just go over skills. Like I said, go over skills that they feel, that they weren't confident in. And then, like I said, for the stuff that they weren't familiar with, we went over it just to give them a heads up. I think we initially targeted, 12 to 15 students. We ended up getting like 6 to 7 to sign up. But honestly, we only had like 2 consistently come, which was kind of, disappointing at first. But we came to the conclusion we'd rather help those 2 than, none at all. So speaking with the kids, we check in on them throughout the school year, and they told us, they found this school year to be a little bit better than, the recent years. And it's because they felt more confident and learning and being prepared for this up and coming year. So, we're hoping for the next school year that we'll get more numbers, and just eventually over time, more people will see the benefits of this program, and hopefully they'll sign up whenever during the school year, during the summer. But regardless, we're gonna support these kids and hopefully, just ride it out until they graduate, so they can have just some extra support, not only family, but they got somebody out here in this world that, that really wants to see them succeed. So.
All right. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. And if you have any questions for Kobe Parker, Jonathan Martin, Donald Hunt, they're from Men on a Mission, you can give us a call at 870-277-1080. Again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. We're also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So I see that we have at least 3 watchers. I don't know who you are, but thank you all for tuning in. Please leave comments or questions also on the live feed. We'll be happy to try to get those answered on the air. I want to follow up with Mr. Donald. What can the community do to help increase your numbers, say for next summer? You talked about the students, the young men don't really have the confidence, or they don't know what it takes to be successful. They don't have that confidence because they don't have anyone really nurturing and encouraging them. But what can the community do to try to help nudge them in that direction to your program?
What I would say would be just encouragement. I mean, that's one of the biggest factors that a lot of people don't give, that, that's the main motivation for a lot of these kids, is just encourage them. I mean, you don't have to really do anything extra. I mean, of course, anything that a person does will definitely be appreciated, and but just let these kids know that there's somebody that can help them, and like I said, just support them, because a lot of these kids, they don't have social skills, so I mean, it's going to make it hard for them to reach out to somebody and ask for help and all that. So, for Jonesboro, just give these kids a pat on the back and just let them know, that they can do it, that they can be successful. And I guarantee just that little piece right there is going to make a big difference in the community.
And I know all of you mentioned about children are so quick. Adults are so quick to label children as bad, quote unquote bad. Do you all, once you interact with, say, young men, do you also interact with young ladies?
Well, we don't necessarily interact with young ladies, but we have the volunteers and mentors that do.
Okay.
I mean, we'll have some conversations with them, but it'll be more of a big brother or a father type,
okay,
as opposed to a mentor-mentee relationship.
Okay. But with the mentees that you have, do you try to get to know their parents, their mother, or, based on whatever their home life is like, do you try to interact their parent into whatever, I don't want to call it a treatment plan because you're not one of those type of I am a sociology major, so I think along the social work, mindset. It's not a treatment plan, sorry. But do you try to interact their parents or other family members into whatever you're trying to do with the student?
Yes, man, that's one of the things we try to do. But at the end of the day, our focus is the mentees,
okay,
and building a relationship with them. We're not there to necessarily be a parent, but we're there to build a healthy relationship with them. And of course, we support the parents, but like I said, we focus on the mentee. And we also include the parent, but we focus more on building a relationship with the mentee.
Okay, so I'm sure that you all try to give them the tools that they need to become successful adults. I forgot to ask, what is the age range of the young people that you work with?
Right now, we're working with ages 8 to 18.
8 to 18, okay. And so, if you get someone, say, 8, 9, 10, do you try to follow them as much as you can, as much as they allow you? Follow them all the way through their school term?
Yes, ma'am. If the parent allows us to, then we'll be there as much as we can.
Okay, so since you all have been, okay, we're about to come on a break, so I'll ask that question when we come back. I don't want to run out of time. All right, so you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. Again, the phone lines are still open, 870-277-1080. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, and we'll have more to come, so don't go away.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Is your spouse close but distant? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. We all know what it's like to have someone sitting right next to us, but whose mind is miles and miles away. In marriage, this can play out when our spouse is physically beside us, but is emotionally distant. To reconnect, here are 3 steps to take when your spouse is close but distant. First, recognize it. Avoid being so focused on your own issues and to-do list that you're unable to see when your spouse is being distant. Second, assess it. It's important to take time to reflect on the situation and what could be causing your spouse to be distant. For more ways to reconnect when your spouse is physically close but emotionally distant, check out my blog at markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook.
Blues, barbecue, and comedy. Sounds like a delicious combination, doesn't it? Guess what? You get all 3 January 27th. KLEK 102.5 FM and the all-new Legends Barbecue Smokehouse presents a night of blues, barbecue, and comedy featuring Memphis blues legend Daddy Mac Blues Band.
What kind of man do you think I am? I buy your food and the clothes you wear, but still you think that I just don't care. I'm in the mood for slow down. Got a special groove for you.
Also featuring from Memphis, comedian Stephon Smith.
I had one dude breast or something. I had to yell at him like, "Hey! You need to stop talking." And this was on the phone, so you know that was bad.
Doors open at 7:30 p.m. Tickets $15 in advance, $25 at the door. Don't wait until the last minute. Get yours at KLEK. Cool Cuts, Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, online at klekfm.org or call 870-277-1080. Blues, live band, barbecue, and comedy in one night at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, 1025 West Johnson Avenue in Jonesboro. Don't be the one that misses out. Get your tickets now. This event is a KLEK fundraiser.
New St. John Missionary Baptist Church will host their Christmas morning service Sunday, December 25th at 8 o'clock a.m. Again, New St. John Missionary Baptist Church, 308 North Main Street in Jonesboro, will host their Christmas morning service Sunday, December 25th at 8 o'clock a.m. The public is invited. From the KLEK community calendar, the Jonesboro Fire Department will offer free smoke detectors. The City of Jonesboro acquired grant funding to provide smoke detectors to any home. The detector must be installed by Jonesboro Fire Department firefighters. More information on getting a smoke detector installed in your home is available at 870-932-2428. 870-932-2428. 2428.
Do you like the music you hear on KLEK 102.5 FM? Do you like the educational programming that we provide? Do you like the service we provide to the community? Do you like having a station to finally call your own that represents you? If so, please stop by or call any of our underwriters or sponsors that you hear on KLEK and tell them thank you for their support. The support of our underwriters and sponsors is vital for us to stay on the air, so be sure to let them know that you thank them for their support.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations. I am your host for today, Quabila Hart, and my special guests are Kobe Parker, Donald Hunt, and Jonathan Martin from Men on a Mission. So thank you guys. I am really enjoying our conversation thus far, and I hope the listeners and viewers out there are getting some valuable information from this interview. Again, the phone lines are open. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Please leave us a comment or a question, and I'm sure these gentlemen will be happy to address it. Okay, before we went to break, I was going to ask the guys about some success stories or some different individuals they have interacted with, maybe good or bad, kind of share some things that you have encountered so far.
Yeah, I'll speak to that for a second. We're as far as the mentor program goes, we are just getting off the ground with our mentees. We've got a few mentor and mentee relationships going now, and as far as a success story, what that's looked like for us, just seeing these moms come through and tell us something. Speak life and truth into your son and daughter, and so far that's our success right there so far. We like I said, we just got going with the mentor program, just getting it off the ground. Still working on our 501c3. Hopefully by January we'll have our nonprofit status, and that'll allow us to fundraise some more, and it'll allow us to even be more effective in the community as far as reaching out and getting mentees, because one of the problems we're running into right now without our 501c3 is that people don't want to give us referrals yet. And it makes sense. Just it doesn't give us enough credibility, I suppose, in their eyes. But as that gets going, and as we get our 501c3 status with the IRS, we'll be able to take in some more referrals and see more of these relationships develop and change the lives of these young people.
Okay.
All right. As far as the organization, some success stories. Every year we've done the Thanksgiving baskets. It seems like the people that have been identified as being in need, whenever we go, because normally how it goes, we'll identify the family and we'll collect canned goods, non-perishable food items, and then we'll get them. It sounds really silly, but we'll put it in a laundry basket.
Okay.
Fill the laundry basket up with the meat and non-perishable food items, and then we present it to the families. And so they have the food, and they also have a laundry basket. Not saying that they need it, but it's just something that we came up with, something different. And so every year that we've done it, we always hear back, because we're on Facebook, Twitter, we have an email. We always hear back from at least a majority of the families, and they say we really appreciate it. We're thankful. We just fell on hard times, and so we're glad that you guys were there. And so, like I said, every year we've done that. The first year, I think we had maybe about 8 baskets, and the second year we had maybe 13. But this year, due to us focusing more on the mentoring program, we only were able to provide one family with the Thanksgiving basket. And so, to me, I was like, well, it's only one family, but the family that we presented the basket to sent us a message on Facebook and said how grateful they were. And so it just motivated us to want to continue to serve, because even, whether it's 10 or 12 or 1, we're making a difference in doing that. And so those are some of the things that motivate us.
And as we know, word of mouth goes a long way, especially in this community once people start hearing Men on a Mission more, like, what is that organization? Let me check into that. And then more people will start checking into you, and then they'll start wanting to help more once they see what you're really all about, that you are trying to make a positive impact in the community. We definitely, with these young men, like, I know, I'm not gonna say your main focus is on young men, but again, they do seem to need the most attention right now. My focus, whenever I get my other degrees, I do want to focus on the juvenile age range as well, but I want to focus on young ladies because I know where I've been, and I feel like I can use my experience to help guide them, to help them be successful in life. But you are young men. You definitely can reach the young men, the younger men. I would love to see all of our men successful, graduate from high school, go to college, or obtain some other form of education to propel them further in life. So, as you're talking with your mentees, do you talk about their career goals? Have they expressed some things they would like to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of, another aspect that we, try to work with the students on, the mentees. Because I know if you talk to some adults nowadays, a lot of them really don't have a clear-cut focus or a clear-cut goal that they're trying to reach. So, that's another thing, like I said, we try to work on with, especially during the summer programs, and even, during the school years, we try to talk to them about their personal interest or things that they are, would like to be interested in. Just, to help them understand that they have options in life and to help them weigh those options,
Okay.
So, yeah, we definitely work with them on, goals and dreams and, aspirations and, basically anything under that umbrella,
Okay. About a week ago, I had a professor at ASU who teaches in the science department, and he was talking about how the numbers for minorities have decreased in the science and math fields. And one thing I noticed within the minority communities, whether it's Black, Hispanic, or whatever, or even the lower economic status families, there are kids that have an interest in certain areas, but they feel like they're going to be talked about, oh, that's corny, that's nerdy, that's whatever, and so that gift and that potential is not nourished and not nurtured, and so it just falls by the wayside. So do you try to encourage some of the young people you encounter, don't let people degrade what you have an interest in?
Yes, ma'am. That's one of the things we try to focus on is them finding their identity and owning it. And so if you can really be comfortable with who you are and what you like and things like that, then it doesn't matter what people say because people are going to talk about you regardless.
Yeah.
And so we're just trying to encourage them. It's kind of hard with them being teenagers and they want to do what's cool and what's popular, but at the same time, being cool and popular, if it's not going to get you success, then it really doesn't amount to anything.
That's right. That's right. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5, and we're speaking with Jonathan Martin, Kobe Parker, and Don Hunt from Men on a Mission. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to call us or leave a comment on our Facebook live stream. Okay, did you have something you want to add, Mr.?
Oh yeah, definitely. As when it comes to popularity and people making fun of you and things like that, one of the things that I always try to stress when I'm dealing with young people is that one day, very soon, none of that is going to matter. Their opinion of you, what people think about you, how good they think you look, how smart they think you are, how cool they think you are. None of that stuff's going to matter in a couple of years. And not only that, but you're going to be mad at yourself for allowing them to dictate what you do and how you act and where your life goes. And so in dealing with these mentees, just kind of what Kobe said though, but just letting them know how valuable they are, whether they're smart, whether they're good at school, whether they're good at music, whether they're good at sports, whether they're just good at building relationships, whatever it is, whatever their gifts are, just letting them know how valuable those gifts are. We all have value, intrinsic value that I keep saying this, but that God gave us.
Okay.
God created us for a purpose, and so many of us are so unique, and just to embrace that and become who we are and find our identity and own it is an incredibly important thing in these young men and women's lives.
Now, one topic I wanted to bring up, just had a thought about bullying. Some of these guys or young ladies that you deal with, they may either be bullies or have been bullied. So, do you address that topic of, like, and try to get down to the root of the matter of why either they were bullied or why they are bullies or why they're mean or angry or whatever they're dealing with at that moment?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the conversations that's going to come up with a mentor and their mentee. One of the things with mentors is we're learning as we're doing is that the mentor is not supposed to take the place of their parent.
Okay.
The mentor is going to be somebody that's going to be able to listen to them, like you said, be able to speak truth into their lives, and not necessarily to be a disciplinarian. So those two situations that you named are very different.
Okay.
But as far as bullying and encouraging them to stand up for themselves and encourage them to tell the authorities and encourage them to do something about it, of course, that'll be something that goes on in those conversations. And then for those that are bullies, when we come into those, and probably will more and more as we deal with the kids coming out of the juvenile justice system, we'll definitely approach that issue and tell them that there's no reason for bullying. It doesn't make anybody feel better in the end of the day. But anyways, yeah, that'll be something that's part of the mentor-mentee relationship, just in maybe a little bit of different way as far as for the bullies themselves.
Okay, with Jonathan and Donald, with you all having psychology backgrounds, do you find yourself tapping into that often, and or do you find yourself sometimes, okay, I need to hold back because I'm going to get too deep into the case management aspect versus strictly being their mentor?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely. Fall on both sides of the wayside. Especially when it comes to, like you just brought up, the bullying thing. That's just a psychology issue itself. There's many reasons that people bully other people, and there's many reasons why people take the bullying. And that's where the psychology background kind of comes into play. Teaching them, like I said, to understand their options, and not only understanding them, but weighing them and picking the option. Because how they respond to being bullied is a whole nother conversation in its own. Because there's a positive way and there's a negative way to respond. But also with the part of trying to not use so much psychology comes into play also, because like I said, there's many issues for why kids act out. So we definitely have to be careful on how we address different issues. We don't want to go too deep into it because these are kids. But sometimes we kind of do have to step into that aspect a little bit. But like I said, we just have to be careful. We're definitely trying to teach these kids as much as possible. We're not trying to overwhelm them at the same time. But we're definitely going to provide them, like I said, with different options and how they can get to those options, and what'll be positive and negative for them with those decisions that they make.
Okay, well, let's talk about how individuals can become mentors in your program. What are some of the qualifications that you require?
As far as being a mentor, we just want to identify somebody that has been active or wants to be active in the community, that is willing to invest into the youth at least 4 hours a month. We prefer 1 hour a week at least. Be willing to commit to at least a year, and be willing to adhere to the 4-hour training that we have. It's provided through Division of Youth Services, which is through the state of Arkansas. And if they're willing to do that, then we'll give them an application, and there's a screening process where we'll review their application, their references and things like that, and if we feel like they're qualified, then we'll accept them as a mentor.
Okay. And then, so do you have any training sessions coming up, or how does the process work?
As of right now, we're in the process of scheduling a training for December, because we just we're finished with this semester, and we're starting over next semester with hopes of gaining more mentees, because at one point we had about 20 mentors that were trained and ready, and we only had maybe 4 or 5 kids that were, ready and willing to go through the program. So we kind of held off on mentors for a while until we were in a position to get more mentees. But now I think we're about ready to gain some more mentees, so we're going to do another mentor training in January.
Okay, so and how can individuals give you referrals? I don't know if that's the right word to use, but send mentees your way. What are the avenues to send mentees your way?
We have a referral sheet that we're working on, and it should be done by the end of this year, beginning of next year. And most of our referrals has been kind of word of mouth. Okay. We do a lot of work with Nettleton school districts, and Miss Kathy Bird at Nettleton Junior High, she does a mentoring program where she focuses on kind of the model students. Okay. She does one for males, and that's gentlemen of knowledge, and the ladies is ladies of distinction. And so what we kind of did with her is kind of did a collaboration where she focused on model students, and we focused on the students that are going to be identified as at risk. And together, we want to build the students up, and so they can potentially go to her program and be successful students. But at the same time, she identifies majority of students that are having issues, and along with Donald, because he's the in-school suspension teacher, he sees a lot of kids that have issues. Okay. And so they just kind of say, hey, I know of a kid who may be interested, and then we'll get in contact with the parent. And if the parents say yes, then we start the process. Okay. Well, I really hope that anyone out there listening has their thinking cap on. They're thinking about some students that may benefit, that will benefit from these programs that they have to offer. We don't want any of our students to fall through the cracks, fall by the wayside. We want every single child to be successful. And I say child because I'm a little older. Anyway, we want every child to be successful. So we want to keep them. We do not want them to head down that path. I've seen a lot of kids that have gone down that path, and sometimes they take it as a joke, like, oh, I'm under 18, this is not going to follow me for the rest of my life. But if enough people start to hear, oh, this particular child was in trouble over and over and over, they're going to get labeled, and they're going to get there's a stigma, surrounding that. Okay, let's stay away from this child. Just say they're getting ready to go for a job. If their name has been put out there in a negative way too much, the employer is not even going to want to give them a chance based on hearsay, right, and not really knowing the individual. So I hope that these students that you come in contact with are really grasping and embracing everything that you have to offer them. I'm really excited to see more from you guys. As far as your summer program, do you have any dates or locations or anything lined up for that yet?
Last year we started at the end of June and going into July. Yeah. So again, like this coming up, for this summer, we'll probably do it again in June and July. And like I said, we did it 2 days a week last summer. Started at 4? Yeah, 4 and ended at 6. So again, this year we're gonna try to keep it the same. We're gonna just play it by ear. It just depends on how many students we get to sign up, what their schedules are looking like, and what our schedules are looking like this year. But again, we did that at Allen Park on Ray Street. We just had a room situated for us every time we met. And like I said, we just went there, we did our thing. What I liked about it, the most is the other kids who weren't signed up to the program, like they gave us so much respect. Like they would come in, like as we're in there doing our thing, some kids would pop in just to see what we were doing, but when they seen we were doing like educational work, they would leave us alone, and like they would kind of give us our quiet time and our respect and our space, and I was kind of surprising because I would think most kids would try to interfere or try to play around and all that, but like my students who were signed up were focused. Like they didn't get distracted or anything like that. So hopefully coming into this summer would be the same thing with just more kids.
Okay. And so with the educational aspect, do you make it hands-on, or is it just kind of lecture, or do you mix it up? Like,
mix it up.
Okay.
You know, we try to find our students, you know, best learning abilities.
Okay.
So we try to match that. So, you know, like before we even get the summer session going, like we sit down with the kids and we just review the past school year, what they liked about it and what they didn't like about it, and we just go from there.
Okay. Alrighty, so I don't want to ask another question to get, so we won't run out of time, but when we come back, I want you all to then tell the community how they can reach you, how they can get involved, and then what are some of the needs you have for the organization. So we're going to take a quick break. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. Please don't go anywhere. You still have time to get your questions or comments in. The phone lines are open at 870-277-1080. We're still streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. I want to send a shout out to Miss Aisha Stafford, who put a heart on the page. So thank you, Aisha. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. For the past several months, you've enjoyed a great relationship with a funny, sexy, attractive partner. In fact, you both believe you're in love. Sooner or later, the question will come up. When is the right time to combine your finances in a relationship? Financial intimacy is the act of two people literally exposing their financial resources to one another in the context of a relationship, says Zara D. Green, my wife and co-founder of Grown Zone Relationship Education at grownzone.com. Just as with sexual intimacy, relationship partners should always be mindful of protecting their health and safety before merging their money. Now, doing so is a recipe for both emotional and financial disaster. Examples of financial intimacy include opening joint bank accounts, co-signing on an apartment lease, and sharing access to credit cards. Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by
Tax Time is here at Car Today, the original buy here, pay here dealer. New Car Today General Manager Sean Corns.
With new inventory available daily, whatever you're looking for, we've got it.
Located on Stadium Boulevard just south of the 63 bypass, tax time is the time to drive at Car Today. Car Today.
Experience the joy with Bishop Adrian R. Rogers of Fullness of Joy Church, 3307 Ray Street, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72401.
KLEK 102.5 FM wants to be active in the community. If you or your organization is hosting a community service event, we would like to know about it and be a part of it. KLEK will promote your event on air, online, and on social media. KLEK personalities may also attend the event and provide music and or entertainment. Certain restrictions and availability may apply. If you or your organization would like to partner with KLEK to make the Jonesboro community a better place, call 870-277-1080 or email us at klek@klekfm.org. In order for a community announcement or church announcement to be aired on KLEK 102.5 FM, we ask that the announcement be sent at minimum 1 week in advance. Thank you for supporting KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. And we're speaking with Kobe Parker, Jonathan Martin, and Donald Hunt from Men on a Mission. I have truly enjoyed our conversation so far, and I'm looking forward to more from these young men to come in the years to come. And so now we want to talk about how you can reach out to them. So tell the listeners and the viewers how they can reach you.
You can contact us by phone, area code 501-404-8636. We have an email account. It's all one word, themeenonamission@gmail.com. And then we're also on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And on Facebook and Instagram, it's Men on a Mission. And on Twitter, it's Men on a Mission _1.
Alrighty, so there are all types of ways to get in touch with these young men, Mr. Kobe, Jonathan, and Donald. Please reach out to them if you know a young person that is in need of some mentoring. It's not that they are a bad kid, it's just that they may need someone outside of their own family to talk to. Most children open up more to someone who doesn't know, who's not directly involved with their family. Someone who's going to be objective and not judge them. That's what most kids are looking for. Someone who's just going to listen and be a shoulder and then offer them some advice and not try to, like Jonathan mentioned earlier, not discipline them. Just really be a listening ear for them. So are there any final thoughts you guys would like to share?
Yeah. Well, for one, thank you for allowing us to be on your show. It's been a fun time, and thank you for allowing us to get the word out, because we're not trying to get rich off of this. We just want to impact the community in a positive way. I guess one of the things I wanted to say earlier, just to clear it up, as far as our tutoring program, I actually got to sit in and watch Donald with these young men and women, and if anybody really wants to get better in education, to get better at a certain subject, man, this man's right here is the one you need to talk to, because he's gonna he's the coolest teacher I've ever been around. I wish I could have had a teacher like him, but he's gonna bring the best out in you in those subjects. Seriously, it's gonna be a good thing for your life to do that. And if anyone knows of anyone that needs a mentor, that could use a mentor, please contact us, because that's our goals.
Alrighty. Mr. Donald, any final words you would like to share?
Yes. Basically, just to, make it short and sweet is, being an adult, and just to give a words of encouragement to the other adults in this community. Instead of, talking about what's wrong with this community, let's come together and fix the community. We definitely know that the youth is having some issues. They definitely are being raised way different than how we were raised. But instead of, constantly complaining and stuff, let's just, like I said, take the steps and let's just get it done. I mean, like I said earlier, encouragement is going to be one of the biggest things that any adult in this area can do. Like I said, you ain't got to be a teacher. You don't have to have the finances to support us. Like I said, you really don't have to do anything but just tell these kids, tell them something positive.
That's right.
And, just that alone will make a big change. Like there's been plenty of studies. There's a lot of empirical evidence that will show that. So, let's just do it now. That's the only thing I really want to say.
All right, it's time for us to step up.
Exactly.
All righty, Mr. Kobe.
Like Jonathan said, thank you for having us. Jonesboro, we look forward to serving you. If anybody's interested in volunteering, you can always contact us about that. If you have any ideas, any fundraisers that you want to suggest, we're definitely open to that. The biggest thing is just going to be communication and support. We can get those two from you guys, then I think we can make a greater impact, because working with other organizations, it takes a village to raise a child.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, we're definitely open to working with other organizations and doing our part. So.
Alrighty, so before we go, we still have about 2 minutes. I want to hear from each of you. How has being a part of this organization impacted your individual lives? Whoever wants to start.
I'll start. It's been very emotional for the most part, because I grew up in a single parent household.
Okay.
I didn't have a father, and to this day, I still find myself wanting that. And I'm grown, But at the same time, I realized that, you know, I didn't have the father in my life for a reason, you know, to make me a better father and to help, you know, minister to these youth and tell them that, you know, although you don't have that father figure in your life, that, you know, there's other people in the community that are willing to invest in you and that they believe in you. So, you know, I'm humbled and grateful for the opportunity to be a part of it. So.
I want to give a shout out. He brought his beautiful daughter with him today, so shout out. She is a gorgeous little girl, has a pink coat, girl after my own heart. Anyway, okay, Mr. Donald.
For me personally, this whole experience has just taught me so much in many different aspects of how to work with another individual, how to give back to my community, how to be a positive role model. You know, coming up as a kid, you know, I had my role models. You know, I never really thought of seeing myself being in the shoes of trying to be a role model, but I think that's the key word, is trying, you know. And hopefully, you know, I'll be successful along with these two gentlemen and whoever else wants to work with us. Honestly, just this whole experience is, like I said, it's just getting started, but I can see within the next few years it's going to be rewarding. Not only just for me personally, but for anybody who's associated with us. It's just going to be a beneficial thing for everyone that I see.
All right, you got about 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Yeah, for me, it's just been a humbling experience. Just to see all walks of life and how incredibly small my part is. You know, God's given me a desire to make a change, but He's the one that's going to do it, not me.
All righty. Well, with that, we're going to end it there. I hope everyone
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the